Hi folks, I'm Chris Marshall with Woodworkers Journal magazine, and here's a cool development in brad nailer technology. These days, if you don't want to invest in an air compressor or be tethered to an air hose all the time, you don't have to. Today's cordless brad nailers are a growing section of the nail gun market, and it's easy to see why. Just slide on a battery, load in a clip of nails, and you're all set to start driving brads up to 2 inches long. Even better, some of the biggest names in cordless power tools have cordless brad nailers, including DeWalt, Makita, Milwaukee, Porter Cable, Ridgid, Ryobi, and other brands like Senco. And you can buy most of these guns bare. So if you have other 18 or 20 volt tools from these brands, you can use the batteries and charger you already own to run these brad nailers. You don't have to buy more batteries and another charger, and that just saves money. Now there are a couple of practical differences between using an 18 gauge cordless brad nailer and a pneumatic, and one of them is size. Cordless brad nailers are larger and heavier in hand. But if you've ever used a 15 or a 16 gauge finish nailer like this, you'll see that cordless brad nailers are pretty similar. And after driving literally thousands of brads through these cordless brad nailers, I found that most of them are really well balanced and easy to use, even when you're driving brads overhead. And they are plenty powerful for driving long brads into thick hardwood. So don't hesitate about the lack of a compressor here. Battery power is easily up to the task. Another thing that takes some getting used to with some cordless brad nailers is a condition I'll just call ramp up. And if you're familiar with pneumatic guns like this one, you know that they fire instantly when you squeeze the trigger. There's no delay with an air nailer. But on some cordless brad nailers, the gun's internal mechanism needs to develop the energy first before driving the nail. They don't fire instantly. On this DeWalt DC608 gun, for instance, DeWalt uses a flywheel mechanism to do the work. And here's what the ramp up is like. Makita's XNB01 cordless brad nailer also has a little ramp up delay, and here's how it fires. And here's the ramp-up experience with Porter Cable's PCC 790 20-volt max cordless brad nailer. It's also flywheel based. Ridgid's R09890 hyperdrive brad nailer uses a pair of pistons to draw a vacuum inside the nailer and then releases that vacuum to drive the nail. Here's what the ramp up is like. Ryobi's P320 airstrike nailer also has a bit of ramp up time when you squeeze the trigger. It uses a single piston inside to compress air, and that's what creates the energy behind the driving force. Here's what the ramp up is like. But not all cordless brad nailers have that second or so of ramp up time after you squeeze the trigger. Milwaukee's new M18 Fuel cordless brad nailer and Senco's F18 Fusion behave a lot more like conventional pneumatic nail guns. Both of these guns have sealed tanks of nitrogen, and there's a piston inside that's compressing that gas constantly. So these guns are always ready to fire. Here's how the Milwaukee gun fires. And here's how Senco's F18 Fusion works. So is that second or so of ramp-up delay a big deal for those guns that have it? In my opinion, nope, it really isn't. It's a little odd at first, especially if you're used to pneumatic nail guns, but once you get the rhythm of the nail gun you buy here, it really becomes a non-issue. So if you've considered investing in a cordless brad nailer, give these models a closer look. They're powerful, easy to use, and best of all, you don't have to invest in an air compressor or an air hose. Thanks for watching.